Hello, you're watching Lit Happens, Saskatchewan showcase of the province's literary talent. Today's programme is a special but sad occasion as we pay tribute to the show's former host, Wes Funk, who died in his sleep during the morning of October 9th, 2015, aged just 46. Known to his friends as Big W, Wes was one of those rare souls of whom it might be said that he didn't have a bad bone in his body. He was kind, open, genial and generous. Apart from presenting Lit Happens for over 170 episodes, Wes was a tireless crusader for Saskatchewan's vibrant writing community, frequently mentoring emerging authors and also for literacy itself. He was a strong supporter of anti-bullying, diversity and civil rights issues, and he had a great love for all kinds of art. He was particularly passionate about music and the superheroes that he loved. Wes was a talented and successful author in his own right and published several novels including Dead Rock Stars, Baggage, the award-winning Cherry Blossoms and his memoir West Side Story. Two further novels are to be published posthumously. Wes had many friends and over 1,100 people attended his memorial service. Today I'm privileged to be joined by some of those that Wes considered his besties. I'd like to introduce Marion Mutala, Tracy Friesen and Chris Fisher. And we're all here to talk about Wes and say what we loved about him and what we miss about him. But what we're going to do, we've got a few questions here about Wes, so if anybody would like to pick a question, let's see if we can get some discussion going based on that. Who wants to go first? Tracy?
Of course, always. It says, what did you love most about Wes's personality? What was he like as a person? Well, for me, about Wes's personality, what I loved the most, it was just so, he was just so genuine. And so when you would spend time with him, no matter who you were with, he just made you feel so comfortable and just so okay to be you.
Yeah, he didn't really have any barriers, did he?
No, and it was so awesome to be able to meet great people like this, because I never would have met Wes if it was,
right.
you know, or I wouldn't have met these people, whatever, if it wasn't for Wes in that, without his personality.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Just
He was a mentor and he was
Yeah.
a community builder. And I loved his laugh. You know, he had a big knee slapping laugh.
Oh,
and
yes.
a big smile. And he'd give you this big, huge hug when he saw you.
Yeah.
And he was just a really warm person.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He was really open and very passionate and very gung-ho. Like, he really wanted, if you had an idea, he wanted you to explore that.
Yes, he
idea.
had such
Oh,
energy. How many of us heard him say, dude, you have to write that?
Yes,
Yeah,
you have
or
to
you
do
have
that.
to do
You
that,
have to do
yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
You have to do this.
Or you rock. That was
Yeah.
his favorite.
Yeah. Oh, we all got hundreds of text messages saying you rock, didn't
yeah.
He would always sign his, like, when I would receive a book or something from him, he would always say, "Don't stop being you," or something.
Right.
Or, you know, keep
Yeah.
going, or keep doing. You're doing everything right, and he always remembered other people in your life that were important to you. Oh, say hi to your wife, or say this, and he was about listening to, and he wanted to hear what was going on with you, and I think his creative energy too was very vibrant,
yes.
and you could really, and it was nice to kind of play off that. And I think that was the one thing, is he didn't really seem to get down a lot. Like, there would be moments if you were talking about something, let's say as an artist or anything, you always have those moments where it's like, oh, this didn't work out or that didn't work out. It was always just like, yeah, but and it was like he would pick it up, or he would
Full
kind
of
of
encouragement, no matter
encouragement.
what
Oh,
was
yeah,
going
absolutely.
on. Yeah.
And he
Always
had-
find the good in whatever was happening.
Yeah, definitely.
And he had lots of ideas all the time. He said, we should do this. We
I
should
know.
do that. You
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
it was just
I
a
know.
continuous passion for what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I wonder if you'd like to pick a question.
What are you going to remember the most about Wes?
Oh, well, yeah. Let's
yeah, I
not,
didn't put it back,
let's not
I guess.
repeat it.
I would say what I'm going to remember the most is his positive attitude, his energy, his laugh, his smile. So much to take from it. I like. There's just so much of a lessons that I took from him, and just in his own life that he would tell me, or you'd get from his writing, and it just made me a better person. So I think what I will remember is the person himself, just that image of Wes, the smile, everything, and and the feelings that I get from that, and that energy that he gave off. I think that's what I'll remember the most, is a lot of the things that we just talked about from the last question, but also too just the overall energy, aura, and the great times that we had too, and conversations, and all those kind of things.
Conversations.
Yeah.
Because you could talk to him about absolutely anything.
That's true.
And no matter what you talked about, he always had a positive take on it. And
That's true.
The openness of his friendship was remarkable in that regard,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a true friend. And he was very supportive, and he was always there for you and kept in touch. And we just had so many good times together. I'll always remember the good times and the road trips. And, luckily we have his books and his writing, because his writing is his personality. It comes out, his sense of humor, everything about him, it really comes through in his writing. He was a very dynamic, excellent writing. And his characters, he really had a good take on the characters in his book, and they were real people. And I really enjoyed that about him.
Don't you find that his writing had this amazing charm about it?
Very.
That it wasn't the kind of story that grabs you and won't let go, but you wanted to read it because it made you feel good. It was, it sucked you in a different way,
Yeah, for sure. It made me feel like closer to him after meeting him and stuff. And so that's why, like, what I will remember the most, definitely his smile and his laugh. But some days it's like he was a night owl like I was, so it'll be like 2 in the morning, and I'd pop up on Facebook, "Are you awake?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And so then we would get into these really awesome, just deep conversations, and just to be there and to know that there was someone else out there willing to talk with you about what was going on in your life and make it good. And that just like, that's what I really will remember, that closeness. And you can get there through reading those books. His books are amazing, just to be that, next to your heart.
Did you ever get one of those early morning Facebook messages that said, "My back is," insert naughty word?
Yeah.
I had a few of those as well.
absolutely.
He really suffered with his back, bless him.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Tracy, perhaps you'd like to take a question.
No, Marion.
Oh, did you one?
I did one.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right.
How has your involvement with Wes changed your social circles? Well, he had a ton of friends, and now I have a ton of friends.
Yeah, that's true.
And we actually started a SPLAT group, Saskatoon Publishers Arts and Literary Team, and then we started the SWAG group, and we just have a whole bunch of fun and a lot of friends like you here, but there's many, many friends. He was so for the literary community. He was so for Saskatoon. He loved Saskatoon and the whole network. We had a lot of network of writers here, but I just made so many good friends.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He really expanded my
Absolutely.
social circles. When I sort of came out as an author, if you like, Wes was the first guy I met, and he said, "Oh, dude, you have to meet, you have to meet, you have to meet."
Yeah.
And before long, I was meeting all you guys, and just my social circles expanded hugely, which is great.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I published my book, I was, because it was self-publishing, then I felt so alone in what was going on. And again, exactly what you said, Xander, just like you talked to Wes and he's like, "Oh, well, you need to come with me and meet so-and-so for coffee, or let's all go out for lunch and create this, huge community." I'm just so blessed based on the relationships that I'm now developing because of meeting Wes.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was definitely a connector of artists and authors. He really wanted a lot, I think, especially here in Saskatchewan and probably Saskatoon in particular, where artists and authors are satellites. They seem to be just flying out there. Wes was a good person to kind of connect all those people and be like,
he was a networker.
Exactly, and as a community, we could be stronger. We could really show that is important here in Saskatchewan and in Saskatoon. The arts are very important, and he definitely connected me with a lot of people. And that was a real fun thing about it, is he was not only just a one-on-one person. He would bring other people along, and you would meet another interesting person, and then, oh, this person's kind of cool or interesting too. I think he realized that a lot of people were like-minded, that would get along, and they don't really know, or they haven't met each other, or something happened. He was always about, and he was just an interesting person in his travels like that. He would just come along and find another person. Oh, you two should meet. You should connect. You should talk, and you go on from there. And it was interesting how he would do that. And
He was
see that.
very inclusive, and it was like a
Yes.
family. We were like all
Absolutely.
family.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
now we're all helping each other out to,
Exactly.
you know, continue on with our success and help each other be
Yep.
successful. And I love that, because I mean, that's all that I want to do and create is the community and help that. And it's just amazing.
I would hear that a lot too. You know, people would come up to me and they would say, I'm here because Wes Funk told me about you.
Yeah.
You know, hey, he said, you know, maybe I should contact you or talk to you about something, or maybe, because I guess like Wes would probably be like, hey, he has a special talent or something, he could help out, or he has a knowledge in this, and you know, that would happen. It still happens, and then that person tells somebody else, and then, you know, then it kind of snowballs itself.
Like a domino effect.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah,
had a real
absolutely.
gift for everyone, you know, and he was always for the underdog or for anybody, you know, to do well. He wanted everybody to do well.
Don't you find that Wes was like a kind of a source of ignition to a fire, and that once you've come into contact with him, you sort of catch fire, and then the fire spreads to other people.
Yes.
You know.
Excellent metaphor.
Yeah.
Well,
that
thank you
was-
very much. And I think that makes
fire.
it my turn to pick
Yeah.
a question, actually. So let's see what I've got here. All right. Tell us about a funny or humorous incident you enjoyed with Wes. All right, I have the classic. When the very evening that Wes and I met, we were doing, it was a thing at McNally Robinson's, and he was doing a little wee presentation. And there was this guy there who asked him about his shoes. And you can read this in West Side Story. But this guy suddenly said, how do you like your sneakers? And Wes was like, oh, well, they're okay. And this guy said, well, I designed them. And Wes looked round at me and I kind of went, like this, you know. And we always talked about this incident. We always texted each other, I designed your shoes.
Yeah.
And we even talked about, you know, making some T-shirts with I designed your shoes on them and stuff like this.
You'll still have to do that.
I don't know. It seems quite fun, but then I don't want to get taken to court by the guy that we're talking about or something like that. So we've got about a minute left. Perhaps someone else would like to pick up on an amusing incident.
You can go.
Well, a lot of the stuff, though, that I know, we were like, you know, sworn to like whatever happens on this trip stays on this trip. So those are those things. But just within that, because I think you can attest to this when we're in there, where Wes would be in the front seat, turn around, give you that quirky smile, and then go, okay, tell me something that you've never told anybody before, or something like that. And so then that would set the tone for the adventure of the whole trip. And so it was just having that and the laughs that came out over traveling with him and with you and Carrie and that. And so, it's just like, you know, there's just too many to like.
Yeah, we certainly
share.
had some
And
good times
you know,
bombing
like-
down the highway.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, off to this and that small town where we'd sell like one book.
Yeah, that's all good. It's all for the memories.
It wasn't always that bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for in this segment, and we'll be right back with some more of Wes's besties.
I was inspired after Wes's memorial when I gave his dad a big hug and said how I'll miss Wes. And he says, well, you were lucky to have him as a friend. And so now when I think about Wes, I think about how lucky I was. And so I was inspired to write this poem called Plain Lucky, which I'd like to share with you right now. Saunters in like a big teddy bear and gives me a bear hug. Certain shyness in his step, like dragging feet. Hey babe, how's it going? How tall was he? 6 feet something, I forget. Or did I ever ask? New glasses, I say. Yeah, cool, looks great. Always a trendy dresser, intriguing face, twinkling eyes, smirky smile. Coffee with honey and milk, I ask? Sure, thanks. Cake? You rock, he says. Thanks, hun, so gracious and polite. You should read this book. Hands me the book. It's powerful. Hey, let's do this book fair. Or you want to do another radio interview with Ann Foster? You should definitely come on Lip Happens again with your new book. Full of ideas and suggestions. I just love your red couch, love your place, huge windows, sunshine. This is just so perfect, peaceful. Silent for a few moments, relaxing, we drinking coffee together, comfortably enjoying each other's company. How many cups of Java did we have together? Lunch tomorrow? 11:30 coachman, he says. Per usual, I say. Darwin, you're right. He really had a beautiful, quiet side. I love that about him. Unpretentious and real. Jackie, so true, so many things we loved about Wes. Lucky, yes, plain lucky, to have known and loved Wesley Donald Funk. Wes, I know you have a baggage of books wrapped up in heaven and are blossoming by reading them with your twin sister Catherine, who you often refer to as Cherry. To me, your West Side Story will never end.
We're back with the Lit Happens tribute show to Wes Funk. I'm joined again by Tracy Friesen, and I'd like to introduce Carey Rigby-Wilcox and Kevin Hastings. Thank you for coming along, guys. Kevin, I wonder if you'd like to pick a question.
Oh, that's how we're doing it, okay.
Yeah.
What are your memories of traveling with Wes? Well, I never did, so I don't really have any memories of traveling
Okay,
with
well,
Wes.
get another one. Who put that in
There we
there?
go.
No,
I'll
that's
take that
okay.
Carrie wants that one.
Oh, right.
No, those are good ones because that's what we were talking about just
Okay.
right before the break, within how we were traveling, how when we were like, you get those things of, everything just stays within the trip, whatever said on the trip stays
Yes,
on the trip. So
what
this way we
happens in
can
the
carry
vehicle.
now. You can continue on with.
Well,
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wes and I did lots of traveling together, and for me, it was just so comfortable, and it was just the trip. It just went so fast, because we had such great conversations, and we just had so much fun that it was just so relaxing, and just getting to the sale that we were at and talking with people, and then coming back and being in the car. Like, the trips were just the highlight of our togetherness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was that travel time in between that was the best. Like when we went to Mayfair with him, and that was like one of the best experiences that I've ever had. And I remember Wes telling me that he thought that was like the best day ever. And we really didn't even do that much, but it was just how much we shared with each other and opened up to each other and felt so relaxed and so okay with being vulnerable around each other. That was one thing about Wes that I truly remember, and that just having the ability just to be you. Yeah.
And if you remember, we got to see the Crooked Bush on that trip.
That's right. Oh,
And we made some
so
new friends there.
Powerful. Yeah, Carrie made great friends there.
Yeah. And when we got to Mayfair, we
Yeah.
were treated like royalty, which was
Yeah.
just lovely.
I
And of course,
know.
everybody wanted to celebrate the hometown son gone good, i.e.
Yeah.
Wes.
And I remember that. And then Wes just kept pushing everybody to us, though, because he's like, oh, no, here, you got to come.
Do you remember his kindergarten teacher?
Yes.
And she said, Wes, you've got to sit on my knee again. And
Oh,
he
my
did.
goodness, he did.
Like 40 years later. That was so funny.
No, we always got treated like rock stars
Yeah.
when we were with
We
him.
were,
It
yeah.
was like, wow.
Yeah.
I always said to Wes, I'm so glad that I met you before I thought you were famous, because if I thought you were famous when I met you, I would have been too scared to talk to you.
Oh, my goodness.
And the one thing about that was he didn't even understand how famous he was.
No.
He was absolutely so humble about it that he had no clue.
No.
He had no clue how big he was.
Yeah, and how many people he influenced.
No, I think he had a little what, but honestly, he just had no clue that people wanted something. He just was.
To have that.
I don't have the ego to go.
No,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's right.
Because I seen him as that. Like, I seen him as that, and he was just
Yeah.
so absolutely.
That
humble.
brings up.
The
Oh,
first
sir,
time
go
that
ahead. Yeah.
Cardinal and I met him, right? Wes asked if we could go for coffee. Went over for coffee, and Cardinal was excited to meet him. He's 7 at the time, and he goes, he's so excited, and we get there, and he's like, "Oh, I thought we were meeting Stan Lee, right?" And Wes, I was like, he's so excited to meet him, and Cardinal's like, "No, I thought we were meeting Stan Lee." And Wes didn't even, no beat, no disappointment, just laughter, right?
Absolutely.
Big
He
Wes
probably
laugh. Yeah.
big kick on that. Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah, because I remember the very first time I had a conversation with him, a friend of mine said, "Oh, you got to call him and get your book, maybe get on Lit Happens." And I was like, "Oh no, I can't do that." I like all the things, so I called him up, and I said, "I'm nervous." I was so nervous, and I was like, "Hello, Wes," explained who I was and all that, and then I just stopped, and then he's like, "Are you there?" And I was like, okay, sorry, I'm just a little bit starstruck right here. I got to calm down. And he just laughed. And he just laughed. He's like, oh my, he said, that just made my day. And he's just like, he's like, I'm just like everybody else, or, just
absolutely.
talk. What do you need? And sure, I'll have you on the show. And it was just so calming and relaxing.
No
But
pretense.
No, and even in that a few times that I met him that first time, my heart and my butterflies, because, still, and I still get that way, thinking about him in that regard. So yeah, just he's such a big presence, but then like you were saying, no ego to go with that. So yeah, quite amazing to be in.
I'm going to pick a question. I've got two by the look of it. So what's this first one? What words of wisdom about the craft of writing did Wes share with you? And holy cow, where to begin? Wes, he was never like a really technical writer, or you've got to put a semicolon here instead of a colon and things like that. He just used to get right to the heart of what writing was about and tell the story. And he always said, you've got to do lots of networking, make sure lots of people read your work and, develop a thick skin to the feedback and so on and so forth. And I think one of the things that I learned from him was to be a little more relaxed about the writing and not quite so protective of it,
Yeah.
Anyone else? Or shall we go for another question?
Well, I just remember, because the type of writing that I do, I'm not like a novelist or story. It's all inspirations. He would just be like, just Tracy, continue to bring your heart out, because that's what makes the message more apparent and more receptive to people or whatever. So yeah, so it was just, I love that fact, just to continue to write from your heart. And I know that's what he did too. So like, and he was always like, don't take any crap from people, and that thing, just write what you want to write. And, and it doesn't matter what other people are going to say, just, as long as your story is coming out. Like, I love that.
Now, Carey, your books are all about literacy, and Wes was really hot on that topic. What can you tell us about that?
Well, we first met on Lit Happens, actually. Like, this is a full circle, because this is where we met. And I was very scared to come on the show, and he just made me feel absolutely comfortable.
Yeah.
But, and then just our connection, and because he just couldn't comprehend, a life that I would have had, and which was low literacy, and because his life is full of words. So, with that, that's what actually drew us together, is because we both felt that we were both, I was hiding a secret, and he had his stuff, and together we were both coming out of the closet, kind of thing, if that makes sense, right? We were, and so we both growing up, had the insecurities, both felt something different inside, both had big dreams for our lives, but scared because of outside things and outside critics. And so we really grew strong just with that. And, he really, for me, he took me under his wing, because I was just so shy and so scared, that he introduced me to all these wonderful writers and wonderful authors, illustrators, and just to the world that I would never actually have ever been open up to, or been able to open up to. He gently guided me, and he helped me just become brave and strong. And
and I probably know an extra 300 people because of Wes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny how when you meet Wes, all of a sudden your Facebook friends list goes and just explodes.
I said, every time I tag you into a photo, Wes, wow, I'm just overloaded. I said,
absolutely.
Can you come and stand in every marketing thing for me?
Yes, actually, that's something he was really good at.
Oh,
was the
Yeah,
marketing.
he would have, definitely,
Yeah, he certainly knew his stuff about how to get your books publicised and get them all over the place, and that was something he was really talented at as well. So, Kevin, I wonder whether you'd like to pick another question. Hopefully one that's relevant to you this time.
Which superhero, apart from the Flash, do you think Wes would have most wanted to be? I don't know which one he most wanted to be, but it will always be Wonder Wesley to me, because he brought wonder to my life,
All right, yeah.
Just a wonderful, giving, caring person,
Yeah. And he had that tattoo on his chest, didn't he, with the Wonder
Yeah.
Woman logo.
I'm wearing the Wonder Woman socks in honor of him today. So.
But he actually had a Flash costume, didn't he?
Yes.
He did.
Yeah. For me, I think he'd have liked to be Batman. He always had a sort of a thing about the dark side of the bat. And I think he'd love to have got up in a Batman outfit and come to a Comic Con or whatever. That would have been quite fun.
I can't picture Wes ever being dark though.
Yeah.
No, and you're right. But he just had that thing where there seemed to be a little bit of a draw for him about the darker sides of the characters, you know.
Oh yeah.
He
Always
was my
wanted to be.
superhero
Yeah,
in
altogether.
any.
Yeah.
To me, he was like my big brother, and so he was my superhero big brother.
I don't know if it was something Wes would have wanted to be, but what I see him as is kind of like Iron Man, even though, because Iron Man, all of his stuff, his power comes from the strength of his heart.
Right.
And so that's why I see him in that, and I think he would have liked to wear that that big iron costume too. But that's what I really see, just him, like just the power and the strength in his heart, and I think that would be something that I see him as for sure. And I know we talked about just even a couple days before he passed, we talked about, he's like, Tracy, we gotta do these Comic-Cons together, because I love to dress up and do
they
that.
Were always great.
And so but he always wanted me to be like Robin or like Girl Robin, and I was like, no, we gotta find something to match my purple hair. So that's why we never really found anything.
Right. And which
at the
superhero
time.
wears purple?
I
don't know.
Yeah. Me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rainbow Warrior, there we go.
Yeah. Rainbow Woman. Well, unfortunately, that is about all we've got time for. And I would just like to say, on behalf of us all and everybody who's been here today, that Wes, we love you and we miss you, and we wish you were still around. You were a remarkable guy, and what can I say? No one will ever be able to fill those shoes. So this has been Lit Happens. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe we'll see you next time.